G'day everyone and welcome to another Makita update here on Tools and Stuff. Hopefully you have recovered from the last one where we actually saw that Makita have finally made a framing nailer. Well, we're going to start this one off with another nailer. That's right, maybe Makita are finally going to release a decent range of nailers, all pretty close to each other. This one was only filed in July last year, this patent though, so might still be a little way off. But here we have a brad nailer on the 18 volt LXT system. Looks to be, well, it'll be 18 or 16 gauge. It is a straight nailer as you can see, so good chance it might be an 18 gauge because they haven't updated their 18 gauge LXT ever, as far as I'm aware. And it is one of the most bagged Makita tools around. So hopefully this one will be a lot better. It's got a nice thin cylinder on the top. The design looks very similar to a Milwaukee nail gun, the 18 gauge and 16 gauge nailers with the smaller looking cylinder. If you take a look at this shot here, you'll see the pin has like teeth down the side. So when it fires with the gas cylinder pushes your nail in, and then that toothed pin gets driven back up so that it's ready to fire again. I have no information on when this will be released or if this will be a final picture of what it'll look like or anything like that. So I'm just telling you, it may be coming. Another thing that may be coming is an impact driver. Who'd have thought? Another impact driver. This one is based on the, why did I put that one so far away? On the 173. Looks very similar to the 173, but they're trying to make sure that it doesn't leak and it has a longer service life. So this patent deals with trying to make sure no oil leaks from the inside of this thing and gets out of it. So I haven't had any problems with my one leaking, but other impact drivers in the past, in fact I've never had oil come out of a Makita one, but I have had it come out of a DeWalt one and a Hikoki one. And when that happens, I mean the tools still keep working, but if there's less oil in there, the oil's all slowly getting out of the thing, then it is going to start wearing and overheating and things like that. So they're trying to make an impact driver that is more bulletproof, essentially longer lasting, which is good to see. But that's not the really interesting thing about the patent. The interesting thing about the patent is what's going on here on the front. If we take a look over on the side there, you'll see they've attached a ring with something that hooks onto your driver bits. So you can have your driver bit stuck in the front here with some way of retaining it so that if it did fall out, it can't go anywhere. It'll end up just swinging underneath. So that's an odd sort of thing that's kind of like, hey, we don't trust this, but we'll put this back up on so that, yeah, you don't end up dropping this on somebody's head on a building site. Seems a little strange, but hey. Next up, how about a grease gun? An XGT grease gun. I know people called for a grease gun on the LXT system for a long time, and they have done it. And they have now done an XGT one. Have they? Have they? No, well, they haven't done it yet, but they've got a patent for it. So hopefully won't be too far away. Also looking at this patent, the battery looks a little bit strange. Yeah, doesn't look like the usual inside of a Makita 40 volt battery. There's no cylindrical cells being shown like they normally are. It seems to be these sort of rectangular bits. Oh, time to get the rumour mill going. Next up we have an earth auger. Well, not an earth auger as such, as those of course already exist on the 18x2 platform and the XGT platform, and there is several different versions of them now with different ways of connecting the auger bits. You can do it with a 3-jaw chuck version or one that's got a dedicated auger attachment on it. But this one is a patent for different handles for drilling horizontally into dirt. Now that is kind of handy, more handy than you might think. I used my one for drilling into a bank, and you hold it up and I push it in. It's great for just crumbling down a bank. You don't necessarily have to just drill a hole. You can use it to just knock shit down and make your life easier, just scoop up all the stuff at the end. It's very handy for that. But this one has several different handles, as you can see, for putting on the end of the tool so that it can rest on the ground so you can drive it in, and it's a different array of side handles and some interesting poses from the what do we call them, the models here in the picture. Some of these images look a little bit So in the future, maybe the augers will come with a different array of handles, or maybe they're just going to pick one of these ones, and maybe you'll have to buy 2 different sets of handles depending on what you want to do with your auger. Maybe they'll come in a kit with all of them, who knows, but probably an optional accessory. So I think we'll leave the patents there and we'll now move on to real tools. And what I mean by real tools is tools that actually exist, ones that Makita have released or have announced. And we'll start off with the mower that I spoke about. I've spoken about several times, and I wanted to put the images in last time, I do believe, and I couldn't find the damn things again. But anyway, Makita has officially announced it now. So this is the RM350D robot lawnmower. It is an 18 volt 5 amp hour lawnmower. And why do I say that it's 5 amp hour? Well, it doesn't have a 5 amp hour battery like you would normally put on a tool. It has a built-in 18 volt 5 amp hour battery. And it seems a little strange to me if they're building in the battery that they couldn't have made one a little bit bigger than 5 amp hours. But it does mean you don't have to change batteries. This is a standalone tool. You don't need to be on a Makita battery platform to use this. It's a standalone tool. It takes about 40 minutes to charge that 18 volt 5 amp hour battery. It has a runtime of 135 minutes. It has a cut path width of 240 millimeters. It can go up 26 degree slopes. It is IPX4, meaning it's easy to clean. You can just hose the thing down basically. It runs at 2,300 RPM, weighs 13.7 kgs, has cutting capacity of height-wise of 20 to 60 millimeters in 5 millimeter increments, and can cut a maximum area of 3,500 square meters. It runs at 1.7 kilometers an hour at a maximum sound of 70 decibels. If you pick it up, it will cut out so you won't get injured. If it detects longer grass, it'll slow down and cut in a spiral for some reason. It has a PIN number on it so that you can, if somebody nicks it, they can't use it. You know, theft deterrent, it's only a deterrent once, you know, if they've stolen it, it's still stolen. But anyway, they all seem to come with PIN numbers on them. But you have to use a wire perimeter edge for this thing. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, sucky, that's a bad idea, don't like it. Because all the other ones done with satellites, you can just, you know, you don't have to put a wire down, you don't have to peg anything in or dig anything into the ground. You can just control it by the satellites. They'll tell it where it is and it'll know what to do. You just sort of remote control it around the edge the first time, and then it knows what to do forevermore. And that seems way cooler. But having used several of those now, they're so problematic and so pain in the ass to set up that I think the wire method might be better, because at least it's foolproof. It's not having to communicate with satellites and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all this other shit. So it's less likely to go wrong. And the other ones are so finicky on where they will work, and they can't go under trees, and they can't do this and they can't do that, and you've got to set the base up so far away from your house, and then it won't work with the Wi-Fi, and then they're just a bit of a pain to get right. Whereas if you don't have to worry about that, if you just put a wire down and it just bounces around between the wires, hey, seems a lot easier. So that little bit of annoyance having to set it up the first time might pay off in the end. Although you can't control it and stuff with your phone like you can with all the fancy new ones. This one you would just, by the looks of things, just set it going, program it, and it'll do its thing. Hopefully I'll get my hands on one of those later in the year to check out and show you guys in depth whether it's any good or not. Next up, a pair of circular saws. These are Dustless Circular Saws, the KS003G and the KS004G. They have a slightly different design depending on how you like to do things. One with the dust collection port on the front of the capture unit there, and the other one with it on the back. Now Makita claim that these will suck up 91% of dust. They have AWS, so you can hook it straight up to the vac. I think you can probably plug them and just have it collected. I know you can do that on previous models. These ones are the 3 and 4, so that means of course it has been a 1 and 2. I'll show you those on the screen now. They are right blade, whereas these two new ones, the 03 and the 04, are blade left. And if you take a look at the base, they're a little bit different. They're a lot wider. Let's take a look at this one here. This is a 125mm saw. That's what these KS ones are as well. So this has blade right, These new ones are blade left. This one, the battery sticks out the side. A lot of people didn't like these tools because they weren't weighted very well. They sort of put all the weight over to the left. Wants to sort of pull this way. The bigger the battery, the more it wants to pull that way. Not that you can even put really big batteries on this one because it won't let you. But these new ones are more like the old school design that so many people love, like the 680 here, where the battery's on the back. But still, instead of going this way, they've got them coming this way. So this one, the weight hangs further away from your blade. The new one, it'll hang more towards the blade, so it's putting all the weight on the center better. Being that it's blade left, a lot of people like that for the vision. It's got a much wider base plate too. So this one and the KS01 and 2, very thin piece of base here. So if you are cutting with the left, there's not much on your timber, okay? You're not supporting the tool can rock too easily, and that is one of the reasons why blades on the right are better, because when you're cutting right-handed, all the saw is supported on the timber, not just this piddly little bit here. So they've got around that by making this part of the base wider as well. So it's an interesting design, narrower than this, the wider base there, and dust free. And there's my phone. So these two new saws, just like this one, are dual speed, so fast and slow. I think it even detects and slows down and ramps up the torque if it gets a bit bogged down. It has a cutting depth of 40.5 millimeters, which is less than this one. This one's actually 47 millimeters, but that's because of the big dust collector on there is gonna ruin your depth of cut, unfortunately. Now these saws will probably only ever be available in Japan. The way things are going, this one's only available in Japan as well. Take a look down in the description if you want to see more on those and this. I'll see if I can find some links down there for those, some affiliate links. Now, no month would go by without Makita releasing another brush cutter. So this is the DUR 195 18 volt. There's about 300 weed eaters and brush cutters that Makita have already put out. So yeah, I'm not going to go into the details of this. It's just another one, okay? There's just so many. They just pump them out all the time. More than they pump out angle grinders and impact drivers, I think. Right, so that is another Makita update. Thanks to these guys up the side here for helping me make these videos possible. If you want your name up the side there, check out Patreon down in the description. And leave a like, a comment, whatever you want. Keep asking me when the framing name is going to come out. Oh man, I don't know when it's going to come out exactly. Okay, I could tell you a month probably, but you know, I'm not even going to do that because it's going to change. It just will. It's Makita and a framing nailer. I've got no, you know. Anyway, down there, do stuff. And I'll see you next time. Cheers. And a special thanks to Jamie and Simon and Greg and Elliot for helping make this video even more possible. Thanks guys. See you all next time. Oh, and did you check out my Hikoki one of these? If you're interested in Hikoki, I did a Hikoki update as well. Oh, that might not be out yet. It might be out tomorrow. Oh, you better stay tuned if you want to watch that one. If it is already out, it'll be up in this top corner and down in the description. Just like everything else. Cheers. See ya.